There are of course loads of reasons why you are not improving, why you have plateaued, why you have been essentially stuck at that level you are at right now, and this applies to my diamonds, my champs. I wouldn't say GCs because I'm not a GC, so I can't give you that level of information, but I can definitely give you more of a healthy perspective how you should be approaching your games. So let's go over the 3 sections I have for this video. Right, section 1 is mostly to do with the fact that you are not doing the fundamentals enough. This is not to do with your game style or your play style. Trap everyone falls in. I fall in it almost every day. I mean, I'm in free play right now for the video, of course, but sometimes you can just get forgetful and stay in free play and think you've practiced, but obviously you've not. So let me break that down for you guys. Before we get properly into it, all I'm going to say is also I am a little bit sick, so do apologize for that, but that will not stop me from saying that you need to be going into custom packs, but very fundamental custom packs. Now here's one, I mean fundamental. This pack right here, which is a very simple actually, just open net pack. You just score open nets, that's it. A lot of people forget the fundamentals quite a lot. A lot of people sometimes overcomplicate it. A lot of people do it too fast, too slow. These type of shots though is what makes Rocket League at almost every level. It's just higher level, it comes different contextual situations, and what I mean by that is the game is just higher level, obviously. But let me show you another pack, obviously, that I think I will also link in the description. Which, if I can find this as well, I think people do not go for the fundamentals. A lot of attack, a lot of aerial, but zero work on backwards, which is, I think, for me, criminal. You are really stopping yourself from progressing any further in Rocket League due to this limitation you have that you think, you have to go in free play, you have to do some aerial shots, you want to improve mechanics. That's fine, but mechanics can actually also be improved on while you're playing. It's not just game sense that improves while you play Rocket League. Of course, the more you play, the more patterns you see, but you need to start properly, and I mean properly, doing basic packs. Basics such as just basic shots, open goals, and backwards defending, which is a thing that starts from very low ranks where you can't actually save those shots until, SSL, where it becomes an art to save backwards and you can score from them even. I mean, we see players like Zen do that almost every game now. Of course, I'm not saying you should be that level, but you can see the huge evolution of how you should be playing, ideally, off your own back. That's it. I linked 2 packs for that section, specifically fundamentals, I'd say. Maybe I'll add another one in the description, we'll see. But right now I will move on to the next section of the video, which is related with ego. Now it's not obviously just a mental evaluation. This section is mostly to kind of elaborate on your own ego and my own ego and the mentality you actually should be going into every game with. I can say that 2s and 3s, especially 2s actually, you need to be constantly thinking of your teammate. You can't just be attracted by the ball. You have to know where your teammate is. What do I actually mean by ego? Because maybe I've not elaborated enough on ego. I mean that you should not be playing for yourself. I know that's again obvious, but what I mean specifically is, why are you going for these typical shots where you go around it and you try score, center for yourself, etc., etc. If you have especially 2 more teammates in a 3v3, to not pass or to not actually hit it sideways if you see a teammate is very, very counterproductive, especially in a rank like Diamond, where if you do actually pass, and you do learn to pass your teammates, it pretty much sets you above 99% of Diamond. I think Diamond is kind of just, it is a watered down champ. I mean, I know that sounds stupid to say because that's almost every rank, but Diamond to champ, there's actually quite a lot of similarities. You will see quite a lot of similarities in champ and Diamond, so you do have to prepare for that. And again, this kind of links back to fundamentals, but just play every game consistently. Do not think differently. Don't think these guys are better, so we might lose it. It's the same thing. You can lose to people who are terrible in your eyes. You can lose to people who are actually much better than you. You can beat people who are actually better than you 1 out of 10 times. It's not about that. It's about actually just playing for the win and actually coordinate with your teammates. Think about your teammates always. Now I know this is some of these points can be self-explanatory, but I personally, for mid-diamond, I don't think people actually give this much thought, in my opinion, because recently I was in mid-diamond. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say I sit here like I'm a grand champ, SSL. I'm merely champ 2 in 3s. I'm not exactly a pro at this game. But what I can say, at least from a more personal perspective, because I have been diamond a lot more recently than pros have, in a division like diamond, you are definitely not hitting the ball hard enough. And that's another thing I want to say, that you have to learn to hit the ball accurately. That is something that people do not do in diamond enough, because believe it, I think I've seen enough. Diamond used to be the thing that, you know, personally I believe the level is much higher in diamond, but now it's also filled from both plats and champs. It's kind of a mixture, but I see a lot of mistakes being made in champ. This just shouldn't be made either in diamond, because the level of the game is very mixed, I could say, for certain. This brings me on to my next point, where I want to personally say that you are not trading positioning. Now, yeah, this seems a little bit abstract, like an abstract concept, positioning. Positioning is not really a thing you can kind of specifically train for, if you know what I mean. It's a very sort of weird concept in the game to, discuss, because positioning, it's not a mechanic. In a way it is like a mental mechanic, but I wouldn't say it's like a thing you can just go into a pack for. But at the same time you can. And you can just go into free play, you can go into training packs, you can see where your car's positioned. You have to think, and you have to actually analyze within that split second, of course, where you have to be positioned. For example, in defense, you're going to be covering here. You'll be challenging from this side, sideways. Don't be too backwards, and don't be facing like this, because you are just a sitting duck here. You can knock it up here, you will struggle to save that, or you'll knock it up here, which again you require to be sideways, in my opinion, to be covering in both of those angles. And of course on the opposite side, but that's for defending. Now for attack, a common error I see in attack is this, in champ, even, I would say. It's the sort of the center thing, really. The center conversation I want to have, because people do go for the centers a lot. The typical up the wall, down. But I kind of want to show you a different sort of method of positioning yourself for that, because obviously centering is very important. You can drive it, you can hit it over, you can flick it over, etc, etc. That's not my point here. My point is actually being on that receiving end of a good center. Now, a lot of people actually just stay here, and I understand this used to be my thinking as well. And I mean, sometimes I do it, subconsciously. I just see the ball there, I make an opposite post run, try to get to it. But then here's a big con: the ball gets knocked or blocked here, especially in 2v2. You are screwed. So what am I saying then? What I'm saying is you need to be kind of on this post, really, facing this post kind of, in a way, kind of diagonal actually, like this. So if the ball actually gets hit here and blocked, you can actually turn immediately and recover it. Whereas if you are sideways, like here, the ball gets knocked over there while you're waiting for the center, you have to get back. You try to get desperately back and it might score because you're in a very bad position. I hope that kind of helps you a little bit actually, because that position alone for the center is very, very underestimated. I think no one actually pays attention to that, especially in threes. That's why I like threes though. It feels tactical and it feels strategic. At the same time, you need to understand the kind of three areas I've given you. I'd say try to understand these three areas, because I would say it's specifically targeted for diamond. I want to emphasize that because, of course, champs could use the training packs as well if you're a champ and you just are listening because why not. But you do also want to actually focus on these, give them more of a thought, and go into games with a kind of different mindset. I feel like a lot of people don't think with the game properly. I think they'll complain a lot, they're not improving. Then they'll say, I'm actually taking it very casual, I don't really care. I play comp, you know, for fun. And that's understandable, but at the same time, winning is fun, isn't it? That's kind of the point. You're not playing to lose, you're playing to win. And that's kind of what I've tried doing lately with my games. I've seen a big improvement with these sort of positions, especially that center position, which I've seen a lot. And I have tried to understand. And actually has helped me quite a lot. That will be it for today, guys. There will be probably another video of the style released soon. I will try to get obviously more information because I'm trying to actively learn the game as well. Because again, I'm not an SL, I'm not a grand champ, I'm not a pro. I am champ, but I'm also trying to learn actively to give actually useful advice. I think for people who are kind of close to me, but maybe lacking just that consistency, maybe lacking the mindset. I do think a lot of Diamond 3s should be champ, like quite a lot of you guys. I do think I play like maybe mechanically game sense champ 1 rather than champ 2, so maybe I've overperformed my rank as well. But again, we all have goals, we all set goals, and I do hope you can achieve your future goal, whatever it is.